What's going on, Helmet Gang? Welcome back to another YouTube video here on the Helmet Save Lives YouTube channel. I figured I'd change it up from a podcast this week, give you guys a little bit of a backstory. I know I've gotten a lot of new followers since I talked about it in my first podcast, which also that's not on YouTube. So if you guys haven't seen the Apple Podcast or SoundCloud, you probably have no idea what happened. And if you haven't seen my earlier videos, you probably just think I'm some guy that likes helmets just for no reason. But there's a whole story behind this I'm going to tell you right now. So let's just jump into it. Cue the cool little intro thing. Let's go. All right, we are back. Helmet Save Lives. Let's go. We got fancy lighting set up. We got the mic here, of course. We're just ready to just clang and bang, just get after it this video. So starting out, it was July 19th, 2020. So this happened super recently, just over 6 months ago. I was doing the first day of something called RAGBRAI, which is normally a ride across the state of Iowa in the United States. But it was canceled this year due to COVID. It was being held virtually. So the first day, it was like 63 miles that we had to ride. So we planned a 31 mile each way round trip. This ride we had done probably 3 times earlier this summer, so we knew super well. So shouldn't have been a problem. Only thing was, on the day, it was rainy. When we were first leaving from like the house we started at, it was rainy. So that wasn't the best sign. And for the first 2 miles, I think it was kind of like drizzling on us, which was, I don't know, not even drizzling. It was downpouring on us, which was kind of crazy. But we kept riding. We're like, we got to just knock this out. We got this whole week ahead of us. Got to go. And then probably 15 miles in, my friend Nathaniel falls. We were on like this wooden bridge, probably about 15 feet long. And as we're crossing toward the end of it, he hits like the metal lip of it, and his back tire kind of skidded out, and he kind of fell on his side. And it was super scary. Everyone was like super shook, whatever it is. Anyway, thrown off because no one had really fallen in our group before. That was like the first ride that someone had fallen on all summer. So we're like, oh my God, like everyone was kind of on edge. Like he was kind of scraped up. His dad's tire popped, so we had to redo that. Or like replace, like refix his tire, whatever. So everyone was super thrown off. So it was like, oh my God. And then probably about 15 miles later. So like as we're super close, we're eating at this restaurant we've been to a bunch of times too. Great burger place, a lot of great appetizers, drinks, everything everyone loves. So we decided we'd go there. Great turning point. It's halfway through the ride too. So we turn around, and then. Wait, JK, what am I saying? What? As we're about to turn around, we're at like the last intersection before the restaurant. And it's this road where the path goes straight through. And the trail is like, no, the road is like at an angle like this. So like, basically as I'm pulling through, I look to my right to see like farther back like, if there's a car coming. And the road kind of goes like up this way. And then I kind of like, I was talking to Nathaniel's dad, and just like wasn't really paying attention after I looked to the side and I'm like looking at him, and I just have this memory, and it literally gives me chills to think about. It's something I think about like literally every day. I remember like looking up and just being like seeing this pole probably 5-6 feet in front of me, like, and I like one of those little pylons on the ground that like stop people from driving on the road, stops people from that you can kind of flip down, but it was up. And I like didn't see it. I like wasn't looking. It was totally my fault. I slammed into it, and the next thing I remember, I'm laying on my right side, and like my face is like pulsing, and it's because like there's blood coming from my like top lip and from like my gum area, just so much blood coming out, and they started like taking my water bottle, squirting into my mouth like so I could like be getting the blood out, and then after a while, after like the police officer came. Nathaniel's dad sat me up, and we sat back to back till the paramedics came, till EMS came, and then I like got up and like walked over to the ambulance, sat on the gurney cot, whatever they call it, and then went to the hospital. But the thing was, because I was like in such a shock, I remember like taking so many pictures and videos and just being like, I want to document this. Like this kind of I haven't had that many traumatic things, and I think it was like some sort of thing that in my head I was like, yeah, this is the right thing to do right now. I'm just gonna take videos, take pictures, and I just hit this pole and like slammed my face in the ground. And what had happened was my front 2 teeth had basically gotten cut, like sliced like a V, like this. I had this gash in my forehead. I still have a scar from my sunglasses, from my pit vipers. And it had a line going from like here to here, and then like another kind of like, it was like an upside down like wishbone kind of thing, like an upside down Y, I guess, because like my teeth had went through my gums. I pull up to the hospital in the ambulance, and I'm like still taking a video. I remember the guy's like, "Oh, what is for TikTok?" And I was like, "Yeah," because at the time I had like a personal TikTok that I was like posting a lot, and it was doing well. I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Ah, nice." And then so I get wheeled in, and they start cleaning me up. I remember there's probably 4 or 5 nurses around me. Like the main doctor comes in, and she was like, "Oh my God!" Like the fact that you were actually wearing a helmet, because I had my bike next to me and my helmet next to me. I still had my shoes on. I still had my jersey and my bike shorts on. And she was like, "Your helmet saved your life." You know that? Like if you weren't wearing a helmet, like you could have had like traumatic brain injury. You could have passed away. Like it could have been way more severe. And then after that, after they kind of cleaned me up, I had like the surgical mask on because COVID, which was kind of annoying because I remember like my scab, my cut was right here in the mask. When it tucks over your nose, it was like just under it. And I remember like, I think I got stuck to it when I was doing the CT scan, and they had to kind of peel it off. But it was a mess. So I get the CT scan, which is, if you haven't gotten one of those, they have like the big kind of tube thing. You're on the bed and it kind of like slowly pushes you in, and then you kind of sit there still. And they take a video or a picture kind of thing in your brain. I don't know exactly what it is, but took a picture of that, got that whole thing sorted out. I ended up going back into my little ER like personal room that they had, which was nice because I know some hospitals don't have like your own kind of personal thing, but for this it was like my own kind of glass room with curtains that like no one could come in or hear me or see me. So, and then after that I had to get a tetanus shot because since it was since like I had like, they thought asphalt or dirt or like any sort of other chemical germs or I guess chemical, anything that could have been in my mouth from the road, just from nature, from outside, they had to give me a tetanus shot. It also had been a long time, I think, too, but I think they just do it anyway. And I hate shots, so that I hated that. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And tetanus shots, I think it's like a bigger needle. It's like a little bit, I don't know if it's like the dosage or what, but they never feel great. So that really sucked. But after that, then they started doing the stitches where they had to numb my top and bottom lips. And then I got 3 stitches on the top, 3 stitches on the bottom. Because like I said, it wasn't like a big flap, but it was like a triangle piece that they had to kind of stitch here. And on the inside, I had a few kind of like just cuts where like my inside of my lip was ripped. It wasn't through in the bottom, but they had to kind of just patch it up. And then after that, I had a big kind of scrape on the side here that they put like a bandage and some like sort of like ointment thing on. And then my forehead, they didn't put a stitch there because it wasn't as deep, but you can still see obviously like the mark there. And if you see my videos, like, you can still see from my sunglasses, because pit vipers, I mean any sunglasses, but from like the nose, from like the bridge of the sunglasses, when I like landed, it like obviously like pushed into my face. So I think that definitely could have saved. I don't know if I would have lost an eyebrow or if I could have hurt my eye. The fact that I had sunglasses on, because they were like had like a big scrape across like the lens. I had to get rid of them. I ended up not keeping them. This is before I got into the helmet save lives, and I just didn't really know what I was doing. So we tossed my helmet because it was kind of bloody and cracked, and then we also, which you should do anyway, but I wish I kind of had it. But and then my sunglasses. But after that, with my teeth, they couldn't do anything. It's just an emergency room, just a regular hospital. And they were like, okay, you got to go to your dentist. So I ended up calling my dentist. I think we called like later that day, but it was a Sunday, so they're closed on Sundays. And I remember going home, and the worst part was I like couldn't really talk, like because of like this, like my mouth started swelling fast. So I crashed like just after 10 o'clock or like late 9 something, like just after 10 o'clock ish on the Sunday morning. And then I got home probably around 2ish. So a lot of people were asking like, oh, how long was I at the hospital? Like I had nothing else happen to me besides the facial stuff, which here, let me pause for a sec. So the reason that helmets save lives is such a big thing is because like a lot of people saw my earlier videos or see the one of me in the hospital and they're like, oh, this guy wasn't wearing a helmet. Like, oh, that's why he's doing this. Like, no, my thing is I wore a helmet, so I only like suffered like the things I did. I only went through what I did because my helmet like lessen the blow, like lessen the like what could have been, um, which is incredible to me. It's insane. I'm extremely grateful. Um, but yeah, so transitioning to when I got home, I had to eat everything liquid. I like couldn't chew because um, like my lips were so swollen where I couldn't even close my mouth all the way. I also like my teeth were still so sensitive. They put glue. Okay, so they did something. They put glue in my teeth. It's like purplish kind of glue to kind of seal like the bottom because like my teeth were open. There's like pulp on the inside, so your teeth have like a not like a core, I guess you could say. Is I think what they call it. It's like a like right in the middle of your tooth. There's like a kind of pole inside, like a hollow tube where like a goo kind of sits. So then to stop that from getting infected or worse or stuff, they had to put glue on it. So I ended up getting home. I just have a bunch of liquid stuff. I can't talk. I'm just miserable. I remember not eating. That night I couldn't sleep because I kept like recapping it in my head, and also I was just in a lot of pain. I had like an antibiotic. I had some other. I was taking a bunch of Tylenol. I didn't really have any other big painkillers, but um, I was eating a bunch of those go-go squeeze pouches. I had a bunch of smoothies. I had like my mom. It was so dope. She made like Cheerios kind of blended with like I think it was yeah just Cheerios blended with milk. I'd have like mac and cheese blended like blueberries, oats, and yogurt kind of blend. It was the coolest thing. So even though it wasn't like the best overall to go through, it's kind of nice to get some cool foods. So I go to the dentist the next day on Monday morning. I was like the first appointment. He gets me in, and I remember I end up. He's kind of checking me out. He took an X-ray, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, you need to go to endodontist," which I was like, "What? Like, what's that? An endodontist?" An endodontist is someone who does like root canals and a little bit more kind of complex facial like dental surgeries. I guess like a dental kind of plastic surgeon, like a little bit more extreme stuff. Um, so we saw him later that day, which was cool too to see him. Everybody was like super quick, and at this time I have like a bunch of gauze here on like my mustache out of gauze, and then I still had the patch right here of gauze too. So I looked, I mean, pretty dope, but also like totally beat up. I looked terrible. So that was kind of hard too to be walking around like the endodontist with this like strip mall of people, and I remember seeing people in the hallway, and I just hated it. And then even like when we're driving or when I was like trying to like send Snapchats to my friends, I was like, I I want to say hi, but I'm sorry, I look terrible right now. And they're like, no, don't worry about it. So we go to him, and then he's like, okay, we gotta do 2 root canals. Super experienced guy. He was absolutely incredible the whole time. He was super super cool. Um, so then I had to wait like a week and a half. So I went to him on the Monday. I saw him next on the following Wednesday. So like 9 days later. Um, and the root canal, like the process itself wasn't terrible, but the worst part was actually getting like the numbing. Like the numbing was absolutely terrible because they had to. Whoa, careful, Mike. Um, because it was like my top 2 teeth. They had to numb like both sides of my mouth, like both like I guess your mouth kind of the nerves is split up in half literally. So since I got these 2 teeth, they had to literally like numb the teeth, like numb like my whole mouth essentially. If you've ever had like a cavity done, it was on the top, so it wasn't my whole mouth, but like both like tops. You guys know what I'm saying. Anyway, so they numb it, which felt terrible, obviously, because like any sort of needle going into your body, I hate. And but imagine going into your gums, which are like super soft and sensitive, and still, I think they were still like, bruised from the stuff he said. So like the inside of my mouth was kind of like purpley, like dark reddish, just like felt terrible. But getting that done was huge because they had to drill into the main part on the inside, like the core, like I was saying, and they basically put like a new pulp. So they put like a new um like liquid on the inside of your tooth, kind of like the vein that your tooth has, I guess. It's not blood though. It's like this like whitish kind of like liquidy stuff. So they kind of drill in, like take it out, squirt it in, and then seal it. So they did that on both teeth, and then after that, if you ever had braces, I had to get at my regular dentist. I had to get if you ever had an impression made, they put the like purple goop where they like you put it in, you bite on it, and then you kind of sit there like this, like for like a long time. They're like, don't move your teeth, don't move your teeth, because then you have to obviously. What am I saying? Yeah, they obviously want to make like the right impression. Like if your mouth is like this, or like often they're gonna make the wrong mold in your mouth to make the crowns. So I had to wait another like 2 weeks. So at this point, it's been like probably close to a month, and like I still have these kind of crooked, weird looking, jagged teeth. I got used to them. My face stopped swelling down. My face swelled down or stopped swelling up, I guess I should say. Shortly after a week, so I was kind of back to I could kind of chew regular foods at that point. I could talk regular. I could laugh. That was the worst part. I love comedy. I love laughing. I love smiling, and I literally couldn't for the first like week and a half just because it hurt so bad. Like I was worried I would like tear my stitches, and also like my mouth was just like my lips were like so big. I was just like all the time. It was just super super puffy. I feel like they still kind of are. Like they just stayed big, but I'll take them. Um, yeah. So then I ended up getting these like kind of temporary crowns, which was weird. I didn't understand. To make the crowns, the more permanent crowns, they just shave down your teeth. So they took this kind of like little drill, like saw looking thing, like a super, like a Dremel kind of thing. If you've ever done like a pumpkin, I know my family has, but like this kind of like straight, like skinny, like blade kind of thing that kind of spins like a drill bit. And then they basically just kind of sawed down my teeth into these two smaller, like baby teeth sized things that they would kind of put these like crowns over. So these are full crowns. It's not just like I know people get like a partial crown. This is like full size like fake teeth. These two that they literally put over like these like two smaller teeth. But before I got these, I had to have these temporary crowns because prior to getting the temporary crowns, I still had those like V teeth, the crooked ones, not crooked, but yeah, cut ones, the broken ones. And then after that, they had to make the impression again of the smaller teeth. And then with that, I had to wait for like these more permanent crowns to come in. But the thing was, they like came off like the first day they came off because I like was kind of chewing on them weird. I didn't really understand how I was supposed to like kind of deal with them, all stuff, blah blah. So I just kind of like let them kind of fall out. And it was my fault. It was my fault. And like I think my dentist was like, "Oh, I wasn't glued enough," but like I was kind of like trying to tie like, "Oh, how much can I wiggle it? Is it really on there tight? Whatever, blah blah." But it wasn't. Like it was not meant to be touched. And he said, "Kind of go back to the liquid diet." And I was like, "No, I've been eating burgers for a few weeks, and I'm not gonna do that." And then I remember I was eating pizza. I just went, and it popped out, and I was like, "Are you serious?" So I had to go back. But then 46 days later, after I crashed, so it was like middle slash end of August-ish, I got the crowns on. So I got these two teeth in the front. I've had them for probably a little bit over almost 5 months now, and they're great. They're super great. I still can't chew like with the front of my mouth. Like I have to really be careful how I eat. So I cut up sandwiches. I cut up like literally like anything like pizza. I mean I can make stuff like skinny or smaller, but I can't really just straight up chew things with my front teeth because I mean I could, but he said like he wants me to try to avoid the next step, which is implants, which that's like where like they would take out these other teeth on the inside then too, and make like a whole new like a rooted tooth back in there, kind of a more permanent, like long term stronger kind of thing. But that's not what I want to do, at least yet. And somewhere down the line, I might have to if these kind of crowns fail me or if they come out. But I've been really smart about it, and I don't want that to happen. So that's a little bit longer term. But yeah, outside of that, that's pretty much like my whole story. And then shortly after that, a few weeks, I started Helmet Save Lives on Instagram, which many of you honestly didn't know. All of you just found my Instagram a few days ago, which is incredible. Thanks for the support. And yeah, anyone still watching right now, if you're still watching, like you got to be like one of the, either someone like one of my friends, like my mom, or just like a really dedicated follower. And I appreciate all you guys. Like this movement, this isn't even just like, this is more than a social media account. This is a movement. This is a message. This is a mission. This is something that I'm beyond passionate about, that I hope can change lives and save lives the way they saved mine. And on the Instagram initially, I was putting like kind of meme stuff about like, oh, like Bernie Sanders, like I'm once gonna ask you to wear a helmet, and then it kind of transitioned into like, hey, here's me riding, or here's like a what's it called? Not moment. Like milestone. Like here's me after 2 months. Here's me after 5 months. Just recently, it was here's me after 6 months, which was super dope. And yeah, and then I had my own personal TikTok for a long time, and I figured like why not bring this to TikTok? Like why not check it out? And it's just been incredible. I've had this for almost a month, and I'm at almost 3,000 followers. Like unreal. The fact that I've gotten like this much support, this much outreach, this much community is just unbelievable. So I appreciate it. So thank you so much. So anyway, that's pretty much my story. I know that was kind of long. I know it's been 20 minutes. But yeah, I appreciate every one of you guys. I appreciate you sticking here with me. If you have any more questions, please feel free to hit my Instagram DMs. Feel free to follow my Instagram if you're not already, of course. I'm on SoundCloud too, Apple Podcasts. And yeah, just endless support. I'm going to hopefully be doing a helmet giveaway soon. I'd love to do that for you guys. I'm probably doing some sticker giveaways too. I know that people couldn't afford the stickers, even though they were kind of cheap. But yeah, if you've not seen the stickers, I have a Redbubble store. The link, all the links are of course in my bio, in my link tree. So hit them up. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this little podcasty type. I wanted to change it up. This is yeah, I guess you could say this is a podcast, but this is kind of more of like a my story documentary kind of little thing for anyone that didn't know. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all the love, support, Helmet Gang. You guys are absolutely incredible. Feel free to share any of my TikToks or these podcasts or pictures with anybody, and I'd love to reach as many people as I can with this and change as many lives. So, like I said, anyway, thanks so much, and I will catch you guys later. Yeah, that's it. Make sure you always wear a helmet. Helmets save lives. See ya.